TikTok's going to see a lot of success here if the engagement can keep up. So I wanted to pull in some people that know it better than anyone. So here we have leveraging influencers at a time when consumers are spending more time on their devices is a no-brainer. And with the emergence of TikTok as a social media power player, it's time for brands to figure out how to leverage online clout to boost sales at a time when other revenue streams are drying up. Here from the executives of TalentX Entertainment, the preeminent 360-degree talent management and entertainment company for the modern digital era. Thank you guys for being here. Let you guys unmute.
Thank you.
I think Warren, Josh, and Chris are still muted.
There we go.
I'm unmuted. Hey, everybody.
I know how to use technology. Look at that, guys.
You did good, yeah. Should have done this on TikTok.
Yeah, the irony.
Awesome.
All right, I'll let you guys take over.
All right. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? You guys hear me here? Awesome. Cool. Well, we are so excited to be here. Thanks for joining. Today, we're going to talk about TikTok, brands, and this whole quarantine, and how, like, what should be done, what should our reactions be as marketers, if that's the position you're in. The format's going to be, we're going to do 20 minutes of talking about a few topics with the four of us, and then we're going to earmark the last 10 minutes for a Q&A. So if you have questions, please earmark those down or put them in the correct place. I'm going to do quick intros to the four of us here, and then we're going to hop on in. All right. So my name is Warren. I am one of the co-founders of TalentX, where the majority of us are at right now. And we have almost 60 clients right now that are the biggest creators on TikTok. So we work with them to grow their careers, whether it's through brand deals or creating products with them or doing merch or claiming. So we really partner with them on that level, as well as partner with brands to help them on a lot of their social media campaigns. And we are excited to be here and talk through a bunch of things. So Josh, I'm going to introduce you right now. Josh is one of our partners at TalentX, as well as one of the biggest creators on TikTok. So he just hit, Josh, I think you just hit 16 million yesterday, right?
I had 16 million yesterday. And I mean, like Warren said, I'm a content creator and also a partner in TalentX. And yeah, I'm excited to get on with this. Let's do it.
Yeah, so Josh is actually a member of Sway LA. They are six guys living in a home where they create a bunch of content. They're in Bel Air, and I think Josh is there right now, so we can.
Yeah, I'm in me and Jaden's room at the moment.
You're in Jaden, okay, got it. Yeah, and then so next we have Michael Senzer over there. He is our head of business development at TalentX. So he oversees all of corporate and strategic partnerships for our company. He has 7 years of experience at the talent agency Gersh, where he led digital strategy. And he worked with a bunch of clients when he was over there: Ashley Tisdale, Dylan Francis, and Ashley Green, Colleen Ballinger. So we're excited to have him with us today as well. And then last but not least, we have Chris Sawtell. Chris is one of our partners right now at ICM, and he runs digital initiatives for the entire company. So he currently represents a myriad of talent, ranging from Try Guys, Lana Condor, and we're excited to have you here today as well, Chris.
Great to be here. Thanks, guys.
Cool.
Excited to have the discussion.
All right, so let's jump on in. So Josh, first question is for you. So during quarantine right now, how has your life changed as a content creator, and how have you noticed the platform change?
Yeah, so I mean, us at Sway, even all the boys that live in this content house with me, we are used to often going out and filming our content outside or public pranks, getting other content creators involved as well. And that has all come to a halt because of COVID. Mm-hmm. So it's been a lot of trying to find creative ideas we can do within the house or just right outside on our street. So that's been the main difference in the content form for us. TikTok, we have been able to film a lot of our videos just in our rooms or outside of our house. And actually, even the Canadian government reached out to me for TikTok to do about COVID. So just spreading that awareness. And making sure that people realize that even the content creators that they watch are thinking about it, because there is still a lot of content getting pumped out with a large amount of people in the room or a bunch of people collabing together. And that has to be either one, old content, which is what we've done, we have pre-filmed stuff, or they just need to be taught how to take care of themselves. And
So yeah, Josh, I actually have that video or that TikTok. I'm going to pull it up right now, and I'm going to share my screen, and we're all going to watch it real quick. So let's see here. All right, here we go. Share screen. There's a few here that I might play for context, but I'm going to start with the one that Josh just mentioned. Here we go.
Okay, I'm bored in the house and I'm in the house bored. Bored in the house and I'm in the house bored. Bored in the motherfucker in the house bored, and I'm bored in the motherfucker in the house bored. Bored in the house, bored in the house bored. Bored in the house, bored in the house bored. Okay, I'm bored.
All right, so this video, Josh, I believe right now has 3.1 or 3.2 million views.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, I think this is a really interesting video because you were able to take a trend or a song that used to be a trend and basically repackage it in the context of what's going on with quarantine and basically make it relevant to your audience, because 3.2 million views, I mean, that's...
Yeah. Well, I mean, what they actually did when giving me this promo was I got to have all the creative freedom. So that way I was able to go and pick an audio that I thought would fit the message very well. And I was able to put in Griffin at the end. That was my friend. He used to be a nurse. So that worked for respecting the healthcare workers. You saw like I washed my hands. So it's just the way to make it kind of light, fun, and happy, but also inform everyone and keep them watching, because a lot of kids aren't going to go watch ads on how to, stay safe during this time. They would prefer to watch their favorite content creator. So this way it's able to be fun, quick, and it informs the viewer.
Nice. Love that. All right, so let's go to the next question. Thank you, Josh. So Michael, let's talk real high level for a sec. So in your opinion right now, like with everything going on, as a brand marketer, what do you think is the right strategy when you approach the landscape in terms of knowing what average watch time is up? Like, what do you do to actually execute on that?
Yeah, I think obviously it's a really interesting time for a bunch of reasons. COVID, obviously, most notably. So I think, right now, I think brands need to kind of understand that this is a great time where they can humanize their brand to their audience, and it doesn't have to be, they can eliminate that gap between themselves and the audience. And I think the way that they can do that is by showing empathy in a time like this, especially, there's thousands and if not millions of people suffering, obviously, across the globe. So I think if you're able to show to your audience and connect with them, and the perfect example is JanSport. I don't know if everyone here is familiar with what JanSport did, but they're donating over 12,000 backpacks to a nonprofit. And the whole challenge that they did on TikTok was for, they enlisted 10 creators on TikTok to show their workspace station at home, because everyone's obviously working and going to school now from home. And, that process alone actually was able to, make the audience think about backpacks and the company JanSport in a way that they might not have before, where they're trying to actually connect with their fans on a way that's not just trying to push product down their throat. So I think, I think it's empathy and knowing that you as a brand and as a marketer, you're going to be remembered long after the whole COVID situation is thankfully gone, because this is a really sensitive time for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but like also, I mean, just to riff on what you're saying, Senzer, is like, I don't want to say that this is a beautiful moment by any means. Obviously, it's tragic, but this is when else have we had an entire nation as well as around the world unified around a specific common theme? The idea that like we're all, I don't want to say trapped in our homes, but like, you make a joke about it, Josh, and saying like bored in the house, but literally everyone can connect with that. I think now more than ever, we have the ability to be as, now it's about intimacy. If anything else, that's the one thing that that COVID has taken from us, right? And now more than ever, with social media and what TikTok has really granted creators like Josh and just literally the Gen Z and the next generations to come, like they're interacting. And I don't want to say that they're not phased. Obviously, they can't go outdoors, but you know, if you're 30 and up, you don't have the same types of conversations and the same interactions that Josh and his friends are having on a regular basis. Everyone is texting. Literally, it blows my mind that some of the talent that we represent now literally are not even on email, which you know, all jokes aside, drives me through the roof.
Yeah.
I would love nothing more than to just send an email and keep it in my to-do tasks. But literally, everyone is just having a constant conversation, and I think that's what brands really need to focus on as well, is the fact that you can have that. You should be now more than ever wanting to collaborate with people like, you know, like Josh, because they're just literally, some of these friends and these audience members, they're just their friends.
Mm-hmm.
They're not followers, they're not audience members. They're just people coming together and having a discussion.
Mm-hmm.
And what we really look to you as any brand wanting to collaborate with us, or any individual digital entity wanting to partner with Talent X and Josh, you know, how can we create, you know, internet breaking moments? How can we create those thought-provoking moments throughout the year and have fun activations, whether it be in a house or later on, hopefully, you know, at Christmas time, around buying Reeboks and Adidas and your favorite sweatshirts. If you want, buy Still Softest sweatshirts. Josh's brand.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So on that point, Chris, I want to ask you this question. I mean, you're leading the charge right now at ICM from the, you know, digital perspective, and a lot of talent agencies are pressing into this space more, right? There was a piece in the New York Times yesterday that talked about it, and ultimately, this trend is already so big, and it's becoming even more amplified because of quarantine. Like there's been a lot more downloads. Do you think that this you know, trend, if you want to call it that, is here to stay, and what implications does it have to the, you know, traditional talent world, right? Because obviously they're merging right now with digital talent, so it's kind of becoming one and the same. So I'm just curious where you think it's gonna kind of head from here, with TikTok being this talent incubation platform almost.
Yeah, I mean, it's an important question to pose. You know, I think the best way to answer that is, I don't think any of us should be really looking at TikTok any differently than the way in which we looked at, you know, billboards in a city, right? It's just ads. It's either whether it's ad space or whether it's a place for someone to create content and be seen. You know, content consumption is here to stay, right? Whether it was back in the day, you know, back in the olden age when people would look at paintings, to literally seeing in the Charlie Chaplin films with no audio. I mean, the now, you know, it's just all that's happening now is that, you know, content is being democratized and individuals have the ability to literally put it right here versus having to get home and literally be honed in between the hours of 7 o'clock and 10 o'clock. So I would say, like, I can't speak on whether or not TikTok is here in 20 years, but I would say that, like, if they're smart and they diversify and they know, like, yeah, I mean, all it is all they're saying is you're creating content from, you know, 3 seconds to a minute. And we know that, you know, a group of individuals that are really identifying with the platform and engaging with the platform can go there and find like-minded individuals and create art together.
Mm-hmm.
I think that celebrities are obviously jumping on board because they understand that that's where audiences are going, and that's where their eyeballs are. That's where they're spending their hours now, right? So, you know, you're going from Netflix watching your favorite, you know, Kevin Hart docu-follow to then going to a movie theater and watching a film that he might be in. But then also being smart enough to say, hey, I want to make sure that I'm on this phone and my fans can find me here, because the same people that are going to the movies, that are going on Netflix, are also going on TikTok. I mean, I think now more than ever, the celebrities that understand their audience are the ones that are actually activating. The ones that aren't, you know, it doesn't mean that they don't want to engage with their audience. I think that it just means that they're not looking to build out a bigger brand outside of their own, right? I think there's nothing wrong with an actor that wants to simply just act. but I think that social media is an amazing platform for someone like Josh and some of the talent that we're representing, or other ones in Hollywood that see like you can not only, you're no longer just an actor, you're no longer just a writer.
Mm-hmm.
You are a brand, and you can create a brand outside of yourself that can live on in perpetuity.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we pressed into like the talent aspect there. Let's talk a little bit now about the brand perspective. So there's a handful of brands right now that are I feel responding really well to, you know, COVID-19 and quarantine, to the extent that, you know, you can say that. But ultimately, Quibi just launched, so there's a lot of content right now for Quibi on TikTok. Bumble, I know, is promoting, you know, virtual video hangouts. It's a feature they have right now, so you can use Bumble to obviously date or just meet, you know, best friends or, you know, business partners. So that's how they've approached it. There's a few others that have really done a great job, I feel, and one of those is I know Procter & Gamble did hashtag distance dance, and that just took off. I think it has over 9 billion views of other people really kind of catching on and you know, kind of taking it and running with it from that angle. When it comes to, you know, how brands should think of a campaign going forward, or how they should think about partnering with talent, that's kind of what I want to get at right now. So Josh, for you, you know, as you as a creator right now, not a partner Talent X, but if you put your creator hat on, how do you kind of choose or discern which brands to work with? Because I know you have a handful of opportunities coming in, but when you sit down and you look at them, how do you really decide, okay, this is the one I want to partner with?
Yes. So when a brand comes to me or a company comes to me, the first thing I do is make sure that it's a product that connects with my fans, because me and my supporters have a very strong relationship, and they have a lot of trust in me and what I'm going to put out there. So I need to make sure first, personally, that I think the product works and that they're going to enjoy using it, and it's going to bring something extra to my content as well. So for an example on that, Reebok just did a deal with me for YouTube. And what I was able to do is, one, test out the shoe first. I go on runs with one of my roommates a lot. So I was able to test out the shoe, make sure that I like it. I was able to work it out in it. And then I know from there, like, this shoe is comfy. I like the look. I want my fans to know that I love this shoe, and they as well can go get themselves a pair. So they gave me the creative the direction that I could go and do whatever I want. So with Reebok letting me do that, again, I was able to create an ad that was more connecting to the audience. I was able to make a skit with my girlfriend, actually, where she's coming over, and this was all before COVID, but where she was coming over for the first time in a while. And then we kicked her out because she didn't have the Reeboks on. So the fans get really engaged in that video because it is a comedy skit. And then at the end of it, we're able to bring up the Reebok, which that catches their eye. They understand it's an ad now, and they're going to go get the product for themselves because they know I like it, and so on and so on. So yeah, it's mainly just making sure that it connects with my audience and that I'm not selling them something that I wouldn't buy myself.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I actually want to show a couple other brand examples. So I'm going to share my screen and just go through a few of these, and then I'm going to ask Sensor, I'm going to ask you one more question before we jump into a Q&A portion for the last 10 minutes here. So I'm going to crank through a few of these. We actually, Josh, I'm glad you brought up Reebok because we have a few examples. Can you see my screen right now? Sensor, can you nod your head if you can see it? Okay, cool. All right, so this next one, let's see here. I'm going to lower it because the bar is in the way. Okay, there we go. So let's do a couple of Reebok examples. I'm going to show Jaden's here real quick. All right, so that was one of the examples for Reebok. I'm going to show you.
And I remember Jaden actually doing that one. That was a trend that was going on TikTok a lot at the moment. It was you would reach for your phone, and then the phone would disappear and show up on a different angle. So he played on that, obviously, with the Reebok shoes, which was a great idea and got people really engaged. That, as you can see from the 500,000 likes and 1,500 comments.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's a good point. I feel like Reebok gave a lot of creative freedom to us, which was nice. I'm going to show an example from Aiden Hawley with Fashion Nova. This is an example also of the brand really giving him creative freedom. This took him a while to film, but let's watch this one real quick. Hypnotized by the way she moves. She started dancing. Hypnotized by the way she moves. Yeah, so he obviously filmed a lot of takes in different sweatshirts. And the last one I'm going to show you, I want to show you this Oreo one that 2 days ago Oreo launched this. We're not a part of this one, but they just crushed us out of the park. So 2 days ago they launched this campaign, #CookieWithACause. And this really capitalizes on the fact that families are all together right now and they're in their home. And this campaign in 2 days, if you add up all of the views from all the other people doing this challenge now, it's at 500 million views. It's at 500 million. Let's watch this and see what it is. So I'm sure a lot of you guys in the audience know, that's how a lot of things go super viral is other people will then see that, they can emulate it and put their own spin on it. All right, I think I'm back now. So that's a really good example that took off in the last couple of days. All right, so Sensor, let me ask you a question here and then we'll do Q&A. So Michael, is it insensitive for brands to market right now with conversion as the main goal?
I don't think it's insensitive. I think there's obviously a lot of nuances, given the circumstances. But I think maybe the best way to think about it is, as long as you're, kind of like to what Josh was talking about, if you can give the creators or the talent that you're working with the creative freedom to make something that they know is going to resonate with their fans and their audience, and obviously then the brand's audience, that's a way that you can still tastefully and meaningfully impact consumption. And it doesn't have to be conversions for the short term. If like that Oreo example that we just showed, even though that is obviously people in turn buying Oreos right now and trying to be part of the trend, I think so long as you can still be part of the conversation for the interim until the situation blows over, it could turn into conversions later on down the road. So I think the key takeaways are essentially give the talent that you're working with the creative freedom, make sure that they can resonate with their audience, and I think you'll find ways to win, and especially times like right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's talk real quick about metrics, and then I want to take a few questions. So, Angel, if you want to maybe have a couple of those on deck for us. But real quick, so when it comes to the metrics that marketers should be looking at from a TikTok perspective specifically, what do you think are the main levers that they should really hone in on right now? And this question can be for anyone.
Sorry. Yeah. Oh.
We'll go for it.
Go ahead, Michael.
Well, no, Chris, please take it.
I mean, at the end of the day, I guess the question really, the eye is into the holder. Like, what does the brand see as the justifiable number, right? Like, are you just trying to get eyeballs on your brand? Are you trying to get, if it's Oreos, are you trying to get Oreos purchased? Or are you just trying to, make sure that a new generation of individual is reminded to buy Oreos or to know that that's a Homestead brand, right? I think a lot of the times people are so enamored with the numbers, but they forget about the actual engagement and like what that, what the delivery is. Like sometimes, and Josh, I don't know how you feel about this, but I hate it when a client gets asked to do a Q code, like a promo code. Like I understand why a brand needs to do that.
I know what you mean. Yeah, it's hard there's not always that instant buy as well. So when a company is asking for someone to do a code, it creates the issue of what if that person doesn't buy it then, but they're walking down or they're walking at the mall the one day and then they see Reeboks and they're like, oh, I want to go get those. It's about that constant view of Oreos, for example, over and over again. If 500 million people have seen that, I mean, the next time you're craving something, you're going to start craving an Oreo, right? And then they go and buy Oreos. So it's just seeing it over and over again that I think really helps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why at the Super Bowl, like you see, you know, prestigious brands just trying to get name recognition, right? Like, why does Pepsi or Coke or even like the random insurance company get placement at the Super Bowl? They don't. They just want the eyeballs. I would say that there's nothing different from the eyeballs at the Super Bowl, other than like really funny commercials, than the same way you have audience engagement with a TikTok or an Instagram or a YouTube.
Right. And if they want that comedy value or it to be funny, that's where companies should start giving the creators that creative freedom. So then they themselves can go and do that because they know what their audience is going to love and what they're going to laugh to or share or save, like, comment. They know those things.
Mm-hmm. So on that point, actually, Josh, we have a question here for you that fits in that category. So the question is, what do you expect from brands when you work with them? And I think specifically, what potentially would you like to expect from brands when you work with them?
I mean, from the brand, I usually ask for a quick run through of what they want to have achieved. So if their goal is to, like we just talked about, just get eyes on the product, then I'm going to make sure I do a video that's going to get a lot of views. If they want something that's going to be more engaging, then I'm able to go and do a skit in the YouTube video where everyone's going to be watching the skit, and then at the very last second they find out it was a promo. So that's the first thing I ask. As well, if they have anything they need in the video, so sometimes it's hashtags, sometimes it's a logo, anything along those lines. And then after that, I usually ask how like, can I make up the creative or not?
Mm-hmm.
That's usually where I go after those two questions. And from there, they sometimes give me that creative freedom. And when they do, they always seem to work out so well. Reebok, for example, going back to that on TikTok, every promo I did for them on TikTok reached over 1 million likes, not even views. So that means videos were probably reaching a minimum 4 to 7 million views a video.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's really important that you touch on, Josh. I mean, like, I think sometimes, I mean, now more than it's hard for brands with a lot of these integrations to not to get out from how do I articulate this? Get out of their own way. Right? Is the best way to say it. I think, you know, there's so many brand restrictions that a brand wants to put on. I'm not saying that you don't, like, I'm not saying go let a TikToker or go let someone be brand unsafe. But I think that, you know, you got to sometimes let the creator do what they do best. You know, they've focused on being an actor. They know when the funny moment is. Don't be that person. If you want to be on set, be on set. But just like, don't be that person that then starts giving them acting classes because you want to give them the whole idea is that if you really have trust with the creator, if you build a longer term relationship, I think now more like, you know, if you see what Target did this past year with their brand ambassadorship and their like that program, I mean, like, I'm close to it. Like that program in Q3, they said like that was like some of the biggest, you know, best quarter they'd had in quite a while, and they really said that it was because of that program. I think now more than ever, looking at ambassadorships for creators like Josh would be like, you know, we'd love that all day long. That way we can celebrate it, you know.
Yeah. We have 1 minute here, so we're probably gonna get the boot soon. But just want to first off thank the team over at Hawk Media. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Angel. We you know have a lot of being here. Hopefully this has been helpful.
Yeah,
we're passionate about this, and yeah.
TikTok versus YouTube, package it all together, bake it all into one with the one creator. That's the best way to do it. You get more bang for your buck. Don't say one or the other.
Yep.
People are going from TikTok to YouTube to Instagram, all in the same boat. You want to control them all the way through that migration.
Yeah, creative freedom.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love that.
Well, thanks, guys. That was awesome. As an old fart trying to figure out TikTok, that was helpful for me. So thank you. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thanks, Eric.
Thanks, guys.